In 2019, one OpenAI researcher made a typo and birthed an evil AI hell-bent on making everything as horny as possible. This is the absurd, ridiculous, and yet true story of how it happened. Since 2017, OpenAI has been building generative pre-trained transformer models, or GPTs, language AIs with a singular focus on predicting text, trained across billions of writing samples. If you prompt a GPT model with "once upon a," it would predict time to follow. Asked for further predictions, the same GPT model might continue, "There was a brave dog named Grace," and so on, because those are the kinds of words that it expects to come next. In this example, the GPT model has essentially learned to write a fairy tale, simply as a consequence of getting very, very good at text prediction. And it was exactly these kinds of emergent capabilities that had OpenAI so excited. These models can do a lot more than fairy tales. OpenAI's first GPT model, often called GPT-1, had been trained on excerpts from thousands of books. It showed so much promise that OpenAI almost immediately decided to train a much bigger model that could do more. But bigger models need more training data, and for this model, books would not be enough. No, this model would be trained on the internet. OpenAI trained GPT-2 to imitate writing across 8 million web pages. And in learning to predict such an overwhelming quantity and variety of writing, GPT-2 acquired some surprising capabilities. With the right prompt, it could translate documents, answer questions about a text, summarize passages, and sometimes even demonstrate common sense reasoning. It was a shockingly versatile model. In fact, it may have been too versatile. GPT-2 wouldn't hesitate to plan crimes, instruct terrorists on bomb making, create sexually explicit content, or promote cruelty, hatred, and misinformation. And this was unacceptable to OpenAI. They wanted a model that did more than just predict text. They wanted a model that operated in accordance with some kind of human values, or at least with their values. But the GPT-2 architecture had no place for ethics, guidelines, principles, or corporate PR policies. It couldn't be bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Nothing would sway the machine from its utter devotion to generating realistic text. But OpenAI was determined to get their model under control. So they got to work, not yet realizing that this work, along with a single typo, would lead to perhaps the horniest AI in history.